Oklahoma has the bats first. Arizona in the gray uniforms is on the field first. And this is the prime day at the Mary Nutter Classic every year, the Saturday where people are off work and kids are out of school. And so the concourses, the areas between the fields, the stands, they'll be packed. And we're underway just in front of 10 o'clock here on the West Coast. Number 14, Arizona. Number 4, Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma coming off a tough loss last night against UCLA. Lost 1-7. Earlier yesterday, though, they did shut out BYU 5-0. Almost had a no-hitter.
Arizona has played 3 at the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Got 2 games in yesterday, wins over Oklahoma State and Long Beach State. And this morning they woke up early and beat Santa Barbara in 5 innings, 9-1. Taylor McQuillan pitches for Arizona. Sydney Romero, everything for Oklahoma, 375 batter. And she's going to find a hole into right field. And Sydney Romero leads with her 16th hit of the season. And the first runner on for Oklahoma. Let's get you there. Starting lineup, Jocelyn Allo. She's somebody to watch too. Shay Knighton at first base is now on deck. Grace Green, the DP, cleans up. Fale Aviu in left field. Reagan Rogers in center. Alea Flores at second. Lindsay Elam, the catcher. Grace Lyons, the shortstop. And the pitcher is G. Juarez. The first pitch on Allo is touched off foul. On the field for the Wildcats, McQuillan pitching and Deja Mulapola catching. The first baseman, Jolie Christ. At second base, Reina Caranco. Shortstop, Jesse Harper, and third baseman, Malia Martinez. That ball contacted down the right field side, out of play. Left fielder, Carly Campbell. Center fielder, Alyssa Palomino. And right fielder, Jenna Keene. Jocelyn Allo, a .459 average 3 weeks into the season, or 2.5. With 17 hits, she has knocked in 7 and had 2 home runs. Most teams will figure just to pitch around her as much as possible. Here's the next one. And that's low. That takes the count to even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Sydney Romero yesterday was just a powerhouse, whether she was at the bat or on base. She's someone that you want to see out on base. She knows how to steal. She knows how to run. She is one of the most aggressive players that I've seen throughout this entire tournament. Romero was last year a first-team All-American selection, as well as a first-team All-Region honoree.
And not too many times Allo strikes out, and she ends up getting fooled after going after the first 2 and fouling them off. Then they pitch around her, and then they come back really right where you should be looking, and for one of the few times you'll see, Jocelyn Allo is fooled and set down looking. So the first out with Romero still at first, and Shay Knighton the batter. Knighton in attack mode right away. A lot of the girls, they've seen a lot of each other. They've played in the big-time tournaments previously at younger levels, and then also at this level, they know a lot. They know who's bringing what. Pitch inside, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the top of the first inning. Oklahoma batting in the crimson uniforms. It gets Arizona in the gray. Sydney Romero at first. She led with a single. That got a piece of something. 2 somethings, actually. It got Shay Knighton on the handle of the bat enough to be called foul. That'll take the count to 1-2. I'd be interested to see a reset of the count, but I think it's 1-2. It looked to me like he gestured that the ball hit the bat although on the replay I wasn't quite sure that that's what happened.
To me, it looked like that's what happened, but
2-2. My other thought was that it was she got hit, but she was over the plate or something, and then she didn't try to get out of the way, so it could be a ball.
sure.
3-2. 3-2 on the scoreboard. 3-2 at the plate. Romero going on a pitch swung on and missed, and Arizona State gets the double play.
Wow, and a huge statement for Arizona as well. Romero is someone that does not usually let something like that happen. Definitely a risky move by her, but good to see her go for it so early this game, but also smart by Arizona on top of it. Saw it early for the easy tag out.
Romero looked like she was by the tag, but she never got her feet down, and Jessie Harper tagged her out. And after half an inning, Oklahoma nothing, and Arizona coming up here on Flow Softball.
Leading off the ball game for the Arizona Wildcats.
Mike Martinez, Amy Zimmer here.
Number 32, Alyssa Palomino.
We're on the ball field of Wrigley here at Cathedral City Big League Dreams. And G. Juarez pitching. She pitches on Alyssa Palomino, left-hander previously of Arizona State. Juarez has been around, and she's a power pitcher for the Sooners, for Patty Gasso.
She is. She was an NFCA first-team All-American, first-team All-West Region, and All-Pac-12 first-team last year, and finished with a 26-6 record. And she's just allowed 39 runs on 91 hits, over 224.1 innings of work.
Innings either in the past. Alyssa Palomino leads off for Arizona. She bats .425. Behind her is Reina Caranco and Jessie Harper in the first. Deja Mulapola cleans up as the catcher. Malia Martinez, then Tamara Statman. Statman the DP. Then Jolie Chris, Carly Campbell, and Jenna King. Strike two, and the count is even. Bottom of the first, and Arizona, their first ups, coming off a 9-1 win against UC Santa Barbara. But Palomino with 17 hits on the season and 12 batted in from the leadoff spot, takes down and in. You're either going to put the ball in play, or you're not going to get her out striking out. She's only struck out twice in 40 at-bats this season, walking 9 times. And 3-2 on the first hitter. Swing and a miss. Few strikeouts. Must have had a little jinx in there. Palomino has struck out for only the 3rd time this season.
Yeah, and Moore is just a complete powerhouse in the circle. We've seen that throughout this tournament so far. And last season, too, she registered 305 strikeouts, just one of 9 NCAA Division I pitchers to reach the 300 strikeout threshold.
No matter the year, that's tough to do. A pop-up off the left field line and caught. Caught off the left field line by Fale Aviu. And that'll get us to the Oklahoma starting 9. Juarez pitching and Elam catching. At first base, Shane Knighton. Second base, Elia Flores. The third baseman is Sydney Romero, and the shortstop is Grace Lyons. Left fielder Aviu made that last play. The center fielder is Reagan Riders, and the right fielder is Jocelyn Allo. And the third batter with 2 out, nobody on for Arizona, Jessie Harper, hitting .357. She's the shortstop. First pitch is strike 1. Deja Mulapola, the catcher, the cleanup hitter on deck for the Wildcats, but again, 2 out and none on. Swing and a miss. Harper's down 2 strikes.
And a lot of fans out here already this morning, but what a perfect day for softball. Not a cloud in the sky. The sun is out.
That's a lot of people at 10 o'clock in the morning, and only going to get more crowded than that. Swing and a miss. Harper's down on strikes. Juarez strikes out 2. And after 1, matching zeros. And off to the second after this on Flow Softball. And Grace Green leads off, batting .438 for Oklahoma. Green will bat right-handed. She has 14 hits, 8 batted in. She's knocked 2 home runs. And you certainly see she has a presence at the plate. And the first pitch is off speed and down for ball 1. Strike one on Green. Grace, freshman from Oakdale, California.
Yeah, and a lot of California natives here in this tournament, including Green and then McQuillan in the circle as well from Mission Viejo.
Strike two. Even as softball, the scope has spread nationwide, and you have players, great players all around the country. These coaches, Patty Gasso on the Oklahoma side, and Mike Kendra, of course, on the Hall of Famer himself on the opposite side, the Arizona side. They know California. That's where to find them.
It is, and it shows too in their stats and talent. And it's also great just for this tournament itself being here in California. It's close to, not too far from home, I should say, for most of these athletes.
Grace Green with a dribbler on the third base line that is foul. We'll come back. We fouled off a couple of pitches, and so we'll get one more, at least on 1 and 2. Taylor McQuillan there for Arizona. She's a senior from Mission Viejo, South Orange County. There's a liner, caught at third, caught by Malia Martinez. And so Green, she goes from kind of a weak contact, and then she makes better contact, but that one is the one that is the out.
And way to be alert over there on third base for that quick catch.
Malia Martinez. Fale Aviu, the fifth batter for Oklahoma, senior batting .355 from Oceanside in North County, San Diego. .321 for a career and .355 this season. That evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The Oklahoma dugout. McQuillan's next offering is up, not chased. I think today is going to be a perfect day for softball. There's no clouds in the sky. There's snow on the mountains. That just looks pretty. 3 balls and 1 strike.
It's nice to just have to look at it, you know, and if you want to go to it, you can.
Yeah.
We have the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway here, so you can just ride that up. But it's such a unique experience living out here where you can just kind of travel to whatever kind of season you want to be in.
Strike 2. Yeah, you have the ocean.
About a 2-hour drive away.
2-hour drive, yeah.
Then you have the mountains if you want to get away and something cold, or
The desert.
then you have the desert where you can just be poolside.
To the left field line and dropping. Fale Aviu gets a base hit. That's the second one for Oklahoma. You must have loved it out here, your time here. Amy previously worked at NBC 10 in Palm Springs.
Yeah, it's been a great past 3 years living out here, especially coming from Michigan.
You were born a North
Born
Midwestern.
and raised in Michigan, went and played college volleyball at St. John's in New York, so I've kind of been all over, but it was nice to make the switch from the East Coast to the West, and you can definitely tell why a lot of people come from the West Coast. It's a great place to live.
Reagan Rogers, a senior from Blanchard, Oklahoma. She's in the box. The first pitch, ball 1. Very good students. All first team in the Big 12. Reagan Rogers.
And that's always something I love to see when it comes to being a student athlete, someone that can perform on and off the field. So important. You're only going to be a student athlete for so long,
And it's
unfortunately.
Yeah, and the ball stops bouncing for everyone at some point. Not for Tom Brady, though. Darn him. McQuillan on the play, on the bunt. Oklahoma advances the runner. And Aviu is in scoring position with 2 out. Don't think Rogers would get a official at-bat for that. She moves it on to the 7-hitter, Elia Flores. 3-12 hitter, Aviu standing in scoring position at second and hoping for a ride in.
And Flores, a utility player for Oklahoma and just a sophomore, so it's great to see someone so young be able to be so versatile and showcase different areas where she can help the team.
The drive for her family not too far. She's from Colton. Was all freshman team in the Big 12 last year. And one of the many high schools that's popped up over the past 20 years inland from Los Angeles, Grand Terrace. Swing and a miss, and she's down 2 strikes.
And softball runs in her family. Her sister Destiny played softball at Alabama State.
When it runs in the family, you know, the younger girls chase the older girls, and they sometimes are better than the original sister that started the whole thing. And it's the same thing on, you know, when you have brothers. Gronkowski's like the 4th of 5 or something like, or the 5th of 5.
Sure.
And he was better than all his brothers. Flores flies out, and Oklahoma is stopped in the second. Mike Martinez and Amy Zimmer and our Flow softball team here in Cathedral City near Palm Springs, near Palm Desert. Amy on Friday or Thursday called it the golf capital of the world.
Yeah, it is. We are home to also the PGA Tour. They come by every year for the Desert Classic. This is a great place to come golf, and I mean, every corner you turn, there's a country club with a beautiful golf.
The ATP WTA also makes a stop here.
Yeah, they're
in the
coming
spring.
here this coming week, actually, the beginning of March. The BNP Paribas Open will kick off.
Deja Mulapola is our batter, facing Giselle Juarez. Mulapola batting and batted over 300 last year and started all her games behind the plate. That's a look inside the Arizona dugout. They're batting right now. Ball 1. I did mess up on the day, and this is the point of the weekend when you're working an event like this, you do forget what day it is. It's just something that happened. I was thinking I would be on it. I would say it's Saturday. And yeah, it is Saturday, but then I couldn't remember when we had last worked. And that was
Thursday.
That was Thursday.
Yeah.
I started to say Friday though.
Oh, okay.
I
I
think
thought
I-
you said Thursday. But
I had to correct myself though.
Thursday, though, a whole different scenario for us out here. On Thursday, when you look at the fans, you would have seen them holding up umbrellas and blankets, and today we are lucky to see sunshine and clear skies.
Still 1-2. That's a great thing, and the forecast said it was going to rain Thursday. We didn't know how much, and it ended up wiping out at the end of the day. But then it was supposed to be good Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's picture perfect as forecasted.
Yeah, we were lucky on Thursday because what I checked, it said that it was going to be raining all afternoon, but it didn't come through until
Now
the
batting
evening.
for the Wildcats, third baseman, number 17.
Here's another look at that
Maria
strikeout.
Martinez.
Arizona just kind of struggling reading her deals and being able to get on base.
That could be a little surprising. But Juarez, she really can bring. You see right there, that's the power right there. She goes up, rise ball, it's picking up elevation as it's getting to the hitter. She's somebody they certainly know. She played at Arizona State, and she played 2 years there. She's a junior. But right now she has the edge on a team that, you know, you'd think, oh, more knowledge would favor the hitter. More times facing a pitcher, facing the batter would favor the hitter. But right now, Juarez is giving it to him pretty good.
Yeah,
2
she's
strikes.
owning it.
They're getting some fouls, and then she's overpowering them when it comes down to that last pitch. Malia Martinez, she made that great catch at third. Reaches out and taps one to the shortstop. Picked up by Grace Lyons, and her fire is good to get the out. Shay Knighton over there covering at first.
Coming up for
And 2 out for Arizona.
Designated player, number 88, Tamara Statman.
Tamara Statman, a senior. And I got to check the numbers on this because her average is 625. It's in a smaller sample size than some of the other players. She's 5 for 8 with 4 batted in.
And an Arizona native in Scottsdale. Last year she appeared in 17 games, including 8 starts with UA's designated player.
You hit 5 for 8, you're going to get some more reps, some more time. This is one of the prime matchups, and she starts as their DP. On 1-1, she hits to first, but it was foul in front of Knighton.
Stebbins had an interesting career. She started her freshman season in 2016. She started 55 games as Arizona's designated player, and then 2017 started 56, but last season saw a major drop and just appeared in 17.
On 1-2, she strikes out. Giselle Juarez has retired the first 6, striking out 4, 2 in the first and 2 in the second. Juarez and McKiernan, or rather McQuillan, matching zeros through the first 2. You're watching Flow Softball and work out on the field beyond the fences. They get to test out the products from those companies, the sponsors here at the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. This is the 3rd inning. Taylor McQuillan has allowed a hit first 2 innings, but that hasn't stopped her from putting up zeros. Lindsay Elam with 4 hits and 5 batted in on the season, quickly down 2 strikes. McQuillan in 2 innings, allowing the 2 hits, striking out 2, walking none. Ball 1. From Chigasha, Oklahoma.
Yeah, an Oklahoma native, and as a freshman, she got herself right into the lineup. She appeared in 16 games, including 1 start at catcher.
That ball in play, out to right center and playable for Palomino. That's the first out.
Now batting for Oklahoma, shortstop, number 3, Grace Lyons.
In steps Grace Lyons out of Peoria, Arizona. So that's got to excite her to face the Wildcats.
That was one of my favorite things as an athlete when we would travel and play teams that I was quite familiar with, whether it was from the recruiting process or from my home state. It always just brings a more sense of rivalry and fire under you.
Grace Lyons, born in Germany. And you know, if you make a good play, like you said, if you're familiar with the other team in the recruiting process, what have you, the other coach is going to say, hey, good job. You know, you're going to get to have that little exchange that kind of makes it fun.
Yeah, always good. A good competitive environment.
McQuillan going up top and getting the foul by Grace Lyons. Lyons has knocked in 10 this season with 3 home runs. She stands in on that right side. The 5'7" freshman. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a look at the brain trust for Mike Condrea. Foul back out of play. You know, Caitlin Lowe, Taryn Mowat, stars. The last time Arizona won a national championship. Ray Camacho on the staff as well.
And what a great opportunity for Grace Lyons to get right into the mix this early in the season as a freshman, going against such talent.
That's gonna make you better, right? You face all those great teams early. You figure out where the adjustments have to be made.
Exactly. This is the time to get the rust off and be able to, for coaches to also see where players are going to be best at.
She was expecting that ball to come back to the plate. Ends up falling off even further than where it started. Turning the lineup over to Sydney Romero. And she takes ball 1. Romero single leading off the game. She did not advance further than first. She tried to steal and was thrown out on a double play. 1 ball and no strikes. Now a strike. Romero back in there. Not a lot of time wasted. That's good. McQuillan turns, rocks, and fires, and Romero attacks and fouls away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. How long did you live here and work here in Palm Springs?
3
Amy?
years.
Did you ever see snow on the mountains like that?
This winter has been probably, we've seen the most snow on the mountains, at least in my time over the past 3 years.
Well, that was a pretty good inning for Taylor McQuillan. That first pitch here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning fouled off by Joel Christ. Christ, the first baseman for Arizona. Bats .364 with 1 run batted in. She leads the way for Campbell and Keene. This is the bottom 3rd of the order for Arizona. They have not been on base against Giselle Juarez. Strike 1. Let me make that strike 2. You got one pitcher retiring the first 6. The other pitcher knows she's got to go out and start to match her even more, even beyond the zeros. And that's what McQuillan did last in the top half of the inning, striking out 2, retiring the side in order for the first time. Joel Christ, now a senior, back in 2016, was on the all-freshman team in the Pac-12. Ball 1. I can tell you she might be looking out for the bees. We had a bee.
I'm looking out for the bees right now myself. I have a lot of those flying around right now.
All of a sudden it gets a little bit warmer and then the bees come out. You wonder where they went. Swing and a miss. That's another strikeout. Look at these pitchers go.
Now batting for the Wildcats,
Juarez strikes out her 5th.
number 4.
And again, Juarez yesterday against BYU almost had a no-hitter, and they went on to defeat BYU 5-0. And actually last year on March 30th, she threw a no-hitter against BYU.
Now working on the number 8 hitter, Carly Campbell. Campbell's a 167 hitter this year. McQuillan has struck out 4 in her 3 innings. Juarez, not even done through the 3rd, has struck out 5. There's a ball in play. Figure some swings are going to start getting shorter no matter who it is in the lineup, and Campbell kind of somebody who's trying to put the ball in play anyway. And it makes the out to short with Grace Lyons fielding and throwing. Takes us to the number 9 hitter, and Jenna Keene, a sophomore. And she's been on the Flow Softball radar for a while.
Yeah, 44th best recruit.
Swing and a miss. Keene from Los Alamitos outside Los Angeles. That'll take the count to 2 strikes.
Arizona's dugout really cheering on Keene here. I think they're anxious to start getting some runners on bases here now in the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, you wonder how long that streak's going to last. You know the pitcher on the other side, but just can't quite get to her. 8 batters in. We're on the 9th. And this is not usual for Arizona. They're used to running around the bases. They have not even got to first. Another strikeout. The 6th of the first 3 innings for Giselle Juarez. And after 3, we have no score. Here's another look.
Arizona just not able to find an answer yet.
Jocelyn Allo struck out looking in the 1st inning. Taylor McQuillan 3 zeros. Giselle Juarez 3 zeros as well. And a lot of strikeouts between the 2. Alo's got a lot of power. Last year, 30 home runs. 30 home runs and batting .420. The average up because people walk her so much. And then, you know, she's still ready to swing when the ball is in the zone. And she'll take it out to any part of the field.
But McQuillan so strong in the circle. I'd be very impressed to see her get a home run against McQuillan. McQuillan led the nation with 15 shutouts last season, becoming the first Wildcat to do so since the NCAA began tracking the stat.
Ball 2. And it only gets tougher the second time around. You face this Oklahoma lineup. One time through, all zeros. Very impressive. 2 hits for the first 9 batters for OU.
Now the big question is who's going to get that big crack that one of those teams need to start advancing in this ball game.
Payoff pitch from McQuillan. You see where she's spotting that ball down and in. If it's going to be hit and contacted, it's going to be foul. It might even be foul off her foot or leg. And then if it's away, you know, it's got some spin at the end and it's staying away. It's not on the belt high part of the plate. And didn't give her much of a chance there on a pitch that was down. Alo not able to drive it. Grounds out to short. I mean, that's a lot of times why good pitching will beat good hitting. Now, softball, you know, the ball's a little bigger. You have less probably margin for error when you're pitching in the zone. You really got to hit those spots and make the ball, you know, have good finish on those pitches. Shay Knighton, the batter, 1 out in the 4th for Oklahoma. And she takes outside.
Yeah, you would think the contact would come much easier since the ball is bigger, but it really is just a completely different ball game because of the ball being bigger. There's a different pace, and just as we saw there, that low pitch on that last batter, and she grounded out. It's definitely much tougher.
Shay Knighton out of Buena Park. If you're not super familiar with Buena Park, that's where Knott's Berry Farm is.
Here's a good example.
And
that's a fun place.
It's the neighbor to Buena Park is the neighbor city neighbor to Anaheim. I'm seeing 2 balls and 1 strike on the scoreboard. Two balls and 2 strikes on Knight. I'm always curious about people's, you know, experience in California because I've lived here all my life, so I don't really know from an outsider's perspective. So I would ask you probably a ton of questions. I would start with like what was the most exciting thing you did while you were here, like something you wanted to do and then ended up doing.
But see, that's such a tough question as you're mentioning, and as we are listing where these players come from all over California. Every area is so different with such different experiences, from the coast to the mountains to the desert. There's so much to do.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Knighton. Fouled off. Right. Mentioning Shay Knighton and Buena Park, now I'm thinking of Knott's Berry Farm. Then I'm thinking Six Flags and
yeah, Knott's Berry Farm, in case anyone listening doesn't know, is an amusement park, along with the rest of those.
Ball 3. It was ball 3.
Check out that cutie right there. I bet you that's going to be quite the softball player one day, especially being here at the Mary Nutter Classic watching these talented athletes.
It's in the eyes.
It is.
You
can see the passion. Ready to go. She's holding our roster. What's she holding there? Had some sort of paper.
The eyes
taking
are
stats and notes already.
The eyes are fierce already. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that's the game face right there. That is a game face. Or she's scared of the camera.
Shay Knighton with one of the first extended at-bats of the game. 4 or 5 foul-offs, and most of them already when the count was already 2 strikes. Shade 9, you talk about softball playing families, and her sister had played at Nebraska. Off-speed pitch, they try to change it up. Defended well on the infield. At second by Reina Caranco. And the streak continues for McQuillan.
Coming up for Oklahoma, designated player number 21.
And something really unique about McQuillan, she was born legally blind in her left eye. Still is.
You would think that it would affect you somewhere, but I'm seeing no runs on 2 hits against one of the best lineups in the country, almost 4 innings scoreless. Great screen at the plate.
Yeah, a great example of overcoming adversity and be able to do anything that you put your mind to. Definitely an inspiring story for McQuillan.
On the ground is short, and with 2 out, that's that for Oklahoma in the top half of the 4th inning. Here comes Arizona with the top of their order. They have not been on base yet against Giselle Juarez. This is the bottom of the 4th inning. Where did it go? Where did it all go?
It's been flying by, and that's all due to these pitchers out here.
47, 48 minutes since we started, and we're in the bottom of the 4th. And it's not like it's a lot of first pitch contact. We're getting to 2 strikes, seeing a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, all the work coming from the circle.
3 scoreless innings for Juarez, 6 strikeouts. Palomino led the Pac-12 in home runs last year, also with a good average. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again for Juarez, 6 strikeouts without a base runner, 3 innings. She hasn't lost this season for Oklahoma, and with an offense like she has,
Helps her out.
That certainly helps, but she's doing the work right now to keep them in the game, keep them where they're at, which is scoreless. 1 and 2. 6 strikeouts. There's a couple more of the futures.
Yeah, it looks like they're from San Diego. It's always great to see kids come from all over the coast of California to watch the best players in the nation.
And this is about an equal drive for about everybody.
Yeah,
so
about 2 hours.
So you never feel like, oh, it's so far, because everyone's got to drive basically, 2 hours. From San Diego, it's about 2 hours. From LA, it's about 2 hours. There's a foul.
Yeah, and then Arizona, just about 4 hours. Nevada, same thing. Really, they call Palm Springs almost like a pipeline to get to those cities. So.
Straight out on the 10 to Arizona.
And check out that pup. Looks all cozy and comfortable, enjoying some softball.
And so calm right now. 2 and 2. Up top with a rise ball again. It continues to just blow them away, top or higher than top of the zone. That's her 7th strikeout. On the other side, McQuillan has 4 strikeouts in 4 scoreless innings.
Here's another look.
And with some outside movement too, going away.
You can see the frustration coming off of Arizona now. They're just hungry for a good hit.
Reina Caranco at the plate. First pitch was ball 1. You're just not gonna. Arizona, they certainly know better, but it's easier said than done in some cases. The ball looks great, and then it explodes. Past your shoulders. That one was more towards the top of the zone, and Caranco only contact out to Shea Knighton. 2 out for Arizona. That's 11 straight retired to start for Giselle Juarez. And the 3rd batter for Oklahoma in the lineup is Jessie Harper, up for the 2nd time. There's a swing and a pop. Who's going to catch that one? The 3rd baseman. Well, I think Giselle thought she wanted it and then realized she was kind of in a tough position to turn around. Sydney Romero was able to help her out there. And that is 12 straight retired to start the game for Giselle Juarez. Aviu leads off with Oklahoma only 2 hits against Taylor McQuillan, haven't scored in 4 at-bats. And McQuillan has 4 strikeouts.
McQuillan definitely loving her time at Arizona thus far. She chose Arizona over Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, and Washington because of Coach and how amazing he is of a person. And she says that she feels like Arizona is a home away from home.
See how even on the second time around, Aviu getting tied up on that 1-0 pitch. And then the next pitch up high for ball 2. Patty Gasso had her Oklahoma Sooners out in front of the dugout, trying to refocus them and get their spirits up again.
Yeah, another spark.
Provide that spark. Strike 2. You know, this is where you want to be. That's Patty Gasso over there coaching at third. This is where you want to be. This is exactly the kind of game that you should expect to be in and be prepared to handle offensively and defensively. Aviu, contact, and a little hop, but Jessie Harper able to handle it, and off to first it goes. 1 out for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and definitely in game situations like this, it's so important to stay strong mentally because that can really be a game changer. Once someone gains that momentum under them, it's so easy to get down on yourself and things like that. And even in situations like this, it's so easy for the dugouts to get quiet. So it's good to see head coach Patty Gasso trying to put that spark underneath her team.
And then to try to make adjustments second time around, they're almost through the second time. This is the 6th hitter, Reagan Rogers. She sacrificed in the second. First pitch there, ball 1.
This is a great opportunity for the players to step up and show their coaches who's going to be that spark for them to get something going.
Because, there's players that do it, most of the time, and then you really want the players that do it when it matters.
Exactly.
It's crunch time.
It's always good to find a player that you can rely on.
2 balls and 1 strike on Reagan Rogers. Crimson is pretty in the morning, especially the top of the helmet. Strike 2. Elia Flores on deck. Taylor McQuillan is working on 9 straight retired. The last hit against her was Aviu in the first inning, and then the streak started with Rogers' sacrifice. That's how it's going for the offenses right now. And the count is 2-2. Late in the swing, she got contact. The tip of the bat got it, and it's still 2-2.
Arizona's dugout. That one over our heads.
I'd expect the dugout to be a little spread out. The players on the bench, we're out on the field. We have a little more room. Let's spread out. But they're all tight together, and they're in it. They're in it.
Yeah, that always shows good team chemistry. And
that ball lifted over third, and the shortstop Harper makes the call and the catch, and 2 outs.
Great communication by Arizona over there by third base.
Yeah, I'm sure at Arizona they don't let the players in the dugout just kind of step away, emotionally step out.
Oh, definitely not. Even my time as a student athlete playing volleyball, if we're on the bench, you're taking stats, you're doing everything that you possibly can to still somehow be helping the team.
Elia Flores with a rip into the corner, foul. Probably the best contact of the day.
I would agree. We haven't seen a ball really fly like that yet, so it's good to see Oklahoma getting some contact.
That's what they can do, and if you're McQuillan, you want to stay out of those certain spots in the strike zone where they can really hammer it. She makes it stay on the outside, and out to right it goes. McQuillan makes her pitch, And pitches a scoreless fifth, getting Flores to fly out. And you get to see as many games as you want. If you can move around and get there, you know, again, it's filling up, and it's going to be, it'll enact a little claustrophobia.
Yeah, a lot of fans standing.
Bottom of the fifth, and Deja Mulapola. 12 home runs last year. You start to think of the players that could maybe turn the game with one swing. We're scoreless. There's Mike Condrea, what he sees from behind his hitter. That takes the count even. Mulapola has 4 home runs this season on 14 hits. Here comes Juarez with the 1-1. This is fantastic pitching. I think we could see it great on that. I mean, our fans at home could see it great on the center field cam because there's a difference of throwing in the strike zone and throwing a strike that's not going to be tagged. And when you face these teams, that's a big difference. And that ends up being a ball, but it can still be effective. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The other thing you see, a lot of great plate discipline, except for Arizona, probably for about 4 innings struggling, really seeing the rise ball when it's top of the zone, and then when it's out of the zone, they swung at a lot of balls on the rise that have been too high. But down and away, kind of still doing their thing, laying off.
And both teams, you know, also having to stay focused out in the outfield with all these strikeouts. It's always tough as a player to be able to stay in tune and in the game, but it seems like both teams are doing their best to stay alert and ready to go, just anxious for that hit.
3-2, ball 4. The streak ends with Arizona not swinging the bat. Juarez retiring the first 12, walking the 13th. And for the first time for Arizona, we do this.
Someone is on first base. And now the goal is here to see if we can get in business and get someone in second in the scoring position.
Malia Martinez, the batter. Strike on the outside. You know, those outfielders you talked about, it's like, you know, being a corner in football, and they don't throw your side the whole day, and then you still got to do what you're supposed to do, be paying attention, and when the ball comes your way, you react and go get it. There's a pitch up.
And you can see Arizona showing the bunt, and that's another thing for Oklahoma now. They've got to stay on their toes on bases, too, because I would not be surprised to see Arizona try to steal.
Oklahoma wants to talk about the situation. You played volleyball, Amy, so, you know, you're always in the game. When you're on the court, I mean, you better be looking alive. There's no plays that you're really off.
Yeah, I was a middle blocker, and I was one of those middle blockers. Usually, you know, if you're in the front row, it's because you're fairly tall. I was considered short, actually. I'm 6 feet. So for middle blocker, they, you know, usually over 6 feet. And but I was one of those players that was able to play all the way around. Just, you know, utilizing my height to my advantage, not being too tall, still able to play some defense and things like that. But yeah, always staying in the game, having to stay focused. Back in the day.
You take pride in the fact that you were a middle blocker, but you stayed through the whole rotation, right? Knighton on the bunt, tags out Martinez. Arizona's able to move the runner to second. Oklahoma has had 1 runner reach second. And, of course, this is the first time that Arizona, the bunt placed well by Martinez. And the inning will come down to Stadman and Christ with 1 out. Fouled away. Tamara Stadman struck out in the second. Stadman with 5 hits this season, career about 270, and a golfer in high school.
Golfer in high school, I bet you she's itching out here, wanting to get on some courses.
Yeah. Don't give her the down and in pitch and let her get that golf swing, the driver out. 1 ball and 1 strike. swing and a miss.
You know, earlier when we were talking about my volleyball career, I think just, you know, my story, what I was trying to get at too is just for all these players out here and anyone watching and wants to be out on the field one day, it's just a testament to you really can just do anything you put your mind to, regardless of what a coach may tell you. Or
a lot of coaches will tell you no, that there's somebody better.
That's why also it's great to see freshmen getting opportunities like this time of year and in tournaments like this to be able to showcase and prove themselves.
Tamara Stabman missed a chance there for Arizona. The inning comes down to Joelle Christ. Christ was struck out in the third. Now batting .333, 4 for 12. Strike one. This is where Juarez says, okay, I know I'm at the 7th spot in the order. It's important for the next inning to finish it off, but for this inning, this is where we should finish it. And not let it get anywhere close to the top and let this Arizona rally continue with growing legs. Fouled away.
And Joelle in the box for Arizona. Her brother Chad is currently in the Miami Marlins farm system. It's always some good inspiration as a...
And that's, in that case, the younger sister chasing the older brother. Which we talked about, the sisters chasing each other and the brothers. One and two. Swung on and missed. Giselle Juarez comes back, finds her form, now with 8 strikeouts in 5 scoreless and hitless innings. She allowed a walk, no longer perfect, and Chris not able to touch it. No score after 5 full. And I guess you can get up there to those mountains, but you know, typically more people go to Big Bear, which is to the north.
Yeah, here in the valley, a lot of the tourists, and if you're a local, they'll have a seasonal membership to go up the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway, but it's actually shut down right now because of the rain that we had last week. It created so many bad potholes in the roads you can't even get up there right now.
Dangerous, and plenty of people have found themselves stuck on the mountains and made the news.
Yep, even the high desert woke up to snow a couple days ago.
I have a lot of friends that have gone towards the mountains, up the mountains when it gets, you know, cold or snowy, and I always think, well, I'm kind of already cold right now. At 50 degrees, I don't really need to go farther up and get more cold.
And as you say that, anyone watching from the Midwest or East Coast are shaking their head at you.
Yeah, of course.
That's like summer.
Lindsey Elam leading off for Oklahoma. This the top of the 6th, and we are scoreless. 3 balls and 1 strike. Strike 2. Elam, the 8th spot. So we got 9 and 1 coming up. And when Romero comes up, due up 3rd, that's the start of the 3rd time through the order. Still not great barrel type contact, and that ball fouled off.
If there was a competition of whose dugout is being the loudest, I would say Oklahoma would take it. They've been going the entire game. Sometimes we've snuck in on Arizona's, and they've been pretty quiet.
Ball 4 on Elam.
Now batting for Oklahoma, shortstop, number 3, Grace Lyons.
In regards to the noise factor of the dugouts, it would seem like Arizona's watching, but a little more studiously, I guess. Not that Arizona or Oklahoma is not paying attention, but you know, they're just a little more emotional about it. Patty Gasso making a change as we get to the number 9 hitter. Grace Lyons is there, and she will bat, but on the bases.
Base for number 22, Lindsay Elam. Junior, number 11, Nicole
Lions waiting to bat.
Nicole Mendez coming up. She's a junior from Houston. She's running, and this is Grace Lyons.
Yeah.
There's the bunt, played by McQuillan to the second baseman, Karanko covering to get the out. Grace Lyons, the number 9 hitter. She was asked to bunt. She gets the bunt down. She moves the runner. Mendez in scoring position for Sydney Romero.
Nice job by Lyons to move her teammate around the bases. And now, what better hitter than Sydney Romero to come up and get something going for Oklahoma, who's now in scoring position.
Sydney out of San Diego. We've talked about San Diego today. And since we mentioned theme parks, San Diego home to SeaWorld.
And the San Diego Zoo. A lot of fun things over there.
Never was a zoo person, though.
What?
Swinging a foul. I think I'm just sensitive to smell.
Like
so,
animals? Oh.
like, I love how cuddly they look, you know?
The smell. Well, see, I'm from Michigan. I'm used to being around farms and all that fun
okay,
stuff,
yeah.
so that's no problem for us.
Mendez at second. I have a 1-year-old, so soon he's going to want to go to the zoo and see animals.
You better take him.
We're gonna have to go. That ball well struck down the left field line. Home run, Oklahoma.
What a knock by Romero, and just like we said, this is the hitter who Oklahoma can depend on to do something like that.
Her 4th home run this season. This one at a particularly good time.
And not only the spark Oklahoma needed, I think the crowd needed it as well. A lot of fans on their feet after that home run. Here's another look at it. Romero says, see you later. She knows it as she runs around the bases, just completely fired up.
They try to work her inside. You can see Romero didn't get beat to the inside. There's a ground ball to short, and Allo is out 3 times running.
Yep, Oklahoma's dugout all on their feet now. Everyone's fired up.
First baseman, number 17.
A good spark now with Oklahoma up 2-0.
And the full count walk that was worked down in the 8th spot by Lindsay Elam, the catcher, and then they ran for her. That ends up making it a 2 spot instead of Romero coming around and a solo home run.
Sure.
You know, it's this big difference here.
You have to credit Lyons for her bunt that she had
Totally.
to move her teammate to second, for Romero to have that kind of position to come up and hit the home run.
Here's the out that Allo just made, a simple ground ball to short, and Harper on the throw. I would say a good job by McQuillan coming back first pitch and getting Allo and still making it tough on her. Shane Knighton in the 2-ball, 1-strike count.
That definitely showcases her mentality and her mental toughness after letting up a home run like that and coming out and getting a batter like that.
Starting to miss those edges just a little bit. 2-0, the Sooners. Fouled back. 3-2. These teams have combined for 12 national championships. Patty Gasso's first was in 2000. She's won it 3 times in this decade, 2013, then 16 and 17.
Yeah, Candria, 8 national championships and was in 22 Women's College World Series championship appearances and 12 conference Coach of the Year titles. I mean, both of these coaches, just such storied resumes.
they built the program so where they just, you know, it's just a carousel of talent coming in all the time. Shade 9 is rung up, caught looking, but Sydney Romero's 2-run shot down the left field line as the Sooners in front. Arizona 6 outs to make up the difference. Sydney Romero going down to get a pitch that might have been out of the zone, but you know, you have the power like she does, you just drop the bat and swing it through, and man, elevation and distance, talk about a golf shot.
Yeah, and all game long we've been talking about who's going to be that player for the team to show up and get something going, and to no surprise, it was Sydney Romero for Oklahoma.
Meanwhile, for on the pitching side, Giselle Juarez has held Arizona hitless and scoreless for 5, but has fallen behind the first batter in the 6th, Carly Campbell, with Jenna Keene on deck and Alyssa Palomino top of the order, due up 3rd.
Arizona's starting to get some movement in their last inning. They were able to get a runner on 2nd, so maybe this will be their big inning as well.
They're a bloop and a blast from tying the game, you know, as they say in the Diamond Sports. 2 balls and 1 strike. Or a walk in a blast, you know, whatever it is, you know, get somebody on and swing. Campbell has popped up though, and it's caught right on top of the plate by Elam. Yeah, her at bat was fantastic, and she took a close pitch to walk, but it turned out to be the key of the inning.
And unfortunately, sometimes for the other team to start making runs, that's what it's going to take for another team to start wanting to step up and get that fire under them.
Got to have an at-bat that really kind of just wears on the pitcher. Gives her something to think about, somebody on base. An attempted bunt by Keene and a foul. Slapping away. Giselle Juarez, a distinctive look. Big and strong lefty with the glasses.
Campbell's one of those hometown hero stories. She grew up in Tucson, and she said that she chose Arizona because she's lived in Tucson her whole life. She grew up watching U of A play and always wanted to play for Coach Candria, and here she is now, a redshirt sophomore, getting the opportunity. She's done well doing it. Last season, she saw action in 52 games, including 49 starts in left field. She led all UA freshmen and finished 5th overall with a .300 batting average and 120 at-bats.
She keeps on working. Giselle hasn't able to quite get that chase or that contact in play to somebody on the third base or shortstop side. We'll see if Keene can maybe elevate one and serve one up. But the left fielder's also in, of course.
Yeah,
and she just got a piece of that one.
Excuse me, that was Carly Campbell I was talking about, and this is Jenna Keene.
I think she swung through. I was surprised that they called that a foul.
I am too.
You can tell where she wants to go. She wants to serve one up on that, just over third.
Yeah, good piece of the ball. Just needs it to stay in play.
And as a reminder, you need to please return all foul balls. All the foul balls that go out of the field of play, please return. Thank you.
If she got the bat on the ball, she did a great job to go get it. It was up above her head.
Yeah. Keene just, with the running start, putting everything she can into this.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And she finally got her. Two out in the inning. Juarez with her 9th strikeout. Gives a little spin to it, and
Yeah.
that's where it disappears past the bat.
Holding it down in the circle, and you can see after she mouthed, "Come on!" Like she's fired up and ready to go, wanting to just get this next out.
Fouled off by Palomino. She's down a strike. Come on is a thing that tennis players always say. They
It
always
is.
yell it.
There's a lot of things. Yeah, I guess every athlete has their own niche that they always like to do or say when it comes to handshakes, fist pumps, sayings, quotes, sometimes taping something.
It's one of those things that, like I mentioned, tennis. Yeah, good job.
Oh,
Good
let's
job
go.
to the catcher. Let's go. And she's a strike away from adding another 0 up there. Yep. No time to waste. No pitches to waste. She has 10 strikeouts in 6 hitless and scoreless innings. Fantastic effort so far for 6 innings by Giselle Juarez. A look inside Oklahoma's dugout. They know the camera's on them.
I know one of the players I think was a little surprised she's getting a close-up there.
Grace Green leads off, freshman from Oakdale. 2-0, the Sooners. They gave that pitch a strike, so I got to flip that around. Now it's 1-1. That's another thing they have to get prepared for. You know, they go to the Women's College World Series. They play in the bracket on ESPN, regionals and supers. Hey, get the cameras. Got to be ready when the camera's on.
It's all part of the job being a student athlete, doing interviews for games and representing and carrying yourself well, knowing that you're going to be on camera.
Foul back.
And Oklahoma's dugout just non-stop with the cheers and having fun, hanging out. You can tell they're starting to get a little loose now at the top of the 7th, up 2-0. But always got to be careful with that. Can't get too confident.
Not when the game is only 2-0.
Exactly.
Don't be overconfident. Avu on deck. Green with a drive into center, and Palomino makes the catch.
Now batting for the Sooners.
Great power by Green, though, on that knock.
Number 34,
Just not enough, but almost made it past the fences. Here's another look at it. A low pitch, was able to get under it. Just not enough to send it out.
Avu takes one off the leg, I think.
And she's feeling it. Jogs pretty gently over to first, bending over, talking with her staff.
the Sooners,
We'll get another look at that.
center fielder, number
Looked like more of her shin area.
Rogers.
Yeah, ooh, right into the knee, the side of the knee. That's gotta hurt. Hopefully she's okay. She seems to be. Actually, from what I'm seeing right now, she's smiling, but now she's got a runner in for her.
It's enough to get a pinch runner out there for her.
Audrey LaValle,
Running at first base,
freshman in for her.
Audrey, a freshman from Choctaw, Oklahoma.
Audrey LaValle.
There's a line. Off the bat of Reagan Rogers.
That one went out in a hurry to the fans.
Dugouts aren't the only place you got to keep paying attention.
Yeah, when you're in a spot like that down the left or right side of the field, you always have to stay alert. Definitely a good spot to sit with the glove. Maybe a helmet.
I had a friend that his mom at a minor league game, they used to go, I can't remember which team they played, one of the inland teams in California, a minor league team. And his mom got hit in the same chair like 2 times in a week.
Oh, man. That's never good.
But wasn't hurt, wasn't seriously hurt either time.
Good. That is good to hear. Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you just end up being that fan that's a magnet and...
Popped up to first, 2 out. It was enough to make her move to Alaska, though. I don't know if that's what it was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Is that where you go when things like that happen? Going to Alaska.
Aaliyah Flores coming up. Sooners with LaValle at first and 2 out here in the 7th. McQuillan, as we see Flores from Colton, about 40-ish minutes away. Strike. One last check on McQuillan in case she finishes off her afternoon here, or morning here. 6 2/3, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 3 hits, and the 2 runs came in on the Romero home run in the 5th. Flores, that's a sharp pop, but Harper was there and played it well, and that's that for Oklahoma in the 7th. They'll have to hope that 2 runs on 3 hits is enough. Arizona needs 2 to tie and 3 to win, but they have been held hitless and scoreless for 6 by Giselle Juarez, and she's coming out to try to finish what would be a very special one. Can she do it? Tell your friends and come back for the 7th after this. Giselle Juarez, having pitched 6 scoreless and hitless innings against the potent Arizona Wildcats, faces Reina Caranco, Jessie Harper, and Deja Mulapola, the real heart and meat of the Arizona lineup, the 2, 3, and 4 spots. And Caranco starts with a fly ball to left, and it is caught by Aviu back in there after she took one off the knee, back in there and left, and she catches for the first out.
Yeah, good to see her out there after such a hard hit to the knee. She was able to make it to first, and then she had a pinch runner come in for her, but it's nice to see her back out in the outfield. But not the way Arizona would want to come out and start firing. This is going to be a crucial inning for them.
Jessie Harper with 1 out. Juarez, having retired 19, has struck out 10 and walked 1. There's a fly into right towards Alo, and she loses it in the sun, and that's your no-hitter right there because you can't rule an error on a ball in the sun.
Yep.
You can't rule an error on a ball in the sun.
And
it has to be a double.
Way to take advantage of the nice weather now that we're finally having out here in the desert.
And that's a tough way to lose a no-hitter, but you know, certain fields play that. You can see the sun right there. It's coming in into right, and that's a sun double that stops the no-hitter and gives Arizona some real life here with Deja Mulapola, the tying run at the plate. Jessie Harper at second with 1 out.
Arizona in scoring position, a position they have not been in a long time.
There's Harper. She's hoping she hit that ball high up in the sun and get Alo to not see it. A ground up the middle into center. Here comes Harper. They'll still try to get her, but they cut the throw. Mulapola hoping no one's covering at first, and Juarez is there. And Mulapola is safe.
And Arizona's dugout coming out onto the field absolutely fired up, and they've got their rally caps on.
Got to have it when you're getting no hit for 6 innings. And Mulapola almost played that one into a costly out.
Even the sunglasses upside down. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to do everything you can.
Let's see what happened here. The ball just missed Juarez's glove. And Mullapola's seen a high throw. She thinks, oh, I can get to 2. The throw's going all the way in. Shade 9 did a great job cutting it.
Barely makes it in time, but is safe.
And good call there at first.
Oklahoma now having a meeting in the circle, just like what we were discussing earlier. You can never get too confident. You never know what can happen, especially when you can get the rally caps on.
They worked. They worked so far. 1 out. And Arizona with the time run at first. They're gonna.
At the plate for the Wildcats. Third baseman, number 17.
Well, Kendrea was out there, and then after they talked to him, then they called Mullapola out. I don't know what happened at first.
Yeah, a tough decision there on the replay. It looked good.
So right now it's 2 out on the scoreboard, and strike 1. Arizona down to its last out with Malia Martinez at the plate. No shutout, no hitter. The perfect game was lost in the 5th. Foul ball. 0-2. Arizona down to its last strike. 2-1 Oklahoma here in the 7th. Yeah, we'll have to take a look there. On the corner, a check and no swing.
Here's another look. Oh, looks like she got her. Really tough call.
Let's go back. Martinez with a foul away. Another 2-strike pitch. Martinez with a little blooper into right, and the tying run is back on the bases for the Wildcats.
Arizona gets the drop. Another spark needed.
Now batting for Arizona.
Very strange game, this softball.
Tamara Statman.
Tamara Statman coming up. Martinez checking out. Arizona goes pinch runner with Riley Kaderka of Patterson, California. There's still life in that dugout.
For Arizona. Running at first base for number 17, Maria Martinez. Freshman, number 21, Riley Kaderka.
Live stats is just catching up right now. The out on Mullapola at first was 8-3 to 4-1. Almost the hit of the season for Tamara Statman, because that would have been in the corner. Kaderka would have been off and running. Kaderka the tying run, and also had that landed fair. You see how close this is, and if it lands fair, then Statman's probably getting into scoring position. It's a 1-strike count. And here's the pitch by Juarez. Probably has to bring down that rise compared to some of the other bigger hitters in the lineup. Statman maybe a couple inches shorter. That rise isn't close to being chased. The 1-1, again, too high.
A lot of pressure on Statman, but a nice job of her staying composed and waiting for the right deal. That's what's going to come from a senior in a situation like this, 2 outs.
We're here in the 7th, 2-1, Oklahoma. Sydney Romero, a couple innings back in the 6th, hit a home run for OU. And this rally started with a Sun double. There's a strike. Arizona again down to its last strike. Jesse Harper hit a fly ball to right. It was in the sun. Alo couldn't catch it. And that double ended the no-hitter, started the rally. And it comes down to this. It's served down the left field line, and it's fading foul.
Second time now Statman wasn't able to get the ball to drop down the left field. You can tell that's a sweet spot for her. Just needs to get the ball to fall. And here's another look. Just curves out.
Maybe in a normal situation, Avi would be played in closer and more towards the line, but she's in a no doubles position. Giselle Juarez makes a moot point of all of it. She finishes with a strikeout. And Arizona comes up one short in the 7th inning. Oklahoma 2, Arizona 1 is the final. Oklahoma 2 runs on 3 hits. Arizona a run on 2 hits in the 7th, leaving the tying run at first. Giselle Juarez strikes out 11 and beats Arizona, her in-state Wildcats. She's from Glendale. She went to Arizona State. She knows them well.
Yeah, you have to give Arizona credit, though, coming back there late in the 7th. Rally caps on and all. At least they can know that they finished strong.
We are expecting Team Japan in Arizona on this field coming up.